All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello. This is me, Daryus. I'm the Chief Market Analyst here at Markets.com, and today is Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, the 10th of June. Yep, still June, still 2025. I wanted to quickly share with you a little piece here on WTI oil, and yes, having a beautiful moment right now. Yes, we're pushing nicely to the upsides from the beginning of June, and the bulls are really having a good time. They're thinking, hey, how are they going to spend their profits and all that, right? Okay, look, everything is nice and everything is nice and dandy. We have approached a key area of resistance, I think, in my opinion. We have a little downside line here taken from the highest point of January. And we also tested the 100-day EMA, which we surpassed by a little bit, but don't get me wrong. Like I said, this downside line, which don't get me wrong as well, it is a little bit on the tentative side. However, we're keeping a very close eye on it. If we do break it, I'm going to lean a little bit more towards the upside. However, let's not kind of eliminate this option of having a little hold up here. And the reason is that I'm not really that bullish on oil yet because there are a few headwinds. Yes, there are talks between China and US in terms of like how they can reach a deal and everything, but I think that it's kind of we're getting into the same cycle again. We're talking about tariffs. Everybody's attacking each other. Then everybody gets together. Everybody creates a nice image that there's communication happening. That there's a potential deal can be reached. This is all kind of helping to boost the stock market, or at least to help the stock market not to fall apart. But then kind of it all collapses with the promise of extending your, coming back to the table. So basically, we keep on saying that we're not reaching a deal. However, we're open for discussion, and this way the stock market doesn't collapse, and this way oil, for example, doesn't collapse as well. Because, well, look, of course, a good deal could be a good thing for oil because it could push back up, meaning that there could be demand again, and blah blah blah, right? However, because, like I said, we're getting into the same scenario of the trade talks. I don't think that, like I said, this positivity right now, which we're seeing, yes, great, we had a great moment, but let's not exclude the downside scenario because it is still the main kind of the main outlook in a way, or the main scenario, at least for now. Because look, we continue to trade lower, right? And yes, we did push higher, but then again, we do have these downside lines. Or one downside line, which is in play here and could provide good resistance. Also, the fact that we have an issue with oversupply of potential oversupply and the global oversupply of oil. We have a possible Iran deal where it could kind of open the door for some Iranian oil into the free market. Then we have some OPEC plus countries which are not really slowing down on the production, so they're also increasing. And yeah, I mean, like I said, these little factors kind of matter. So at the moment, everybody's playing the upside game. Yes, great, but like I said, don't really be surprised if we suddenly see a bit of a hold up near this, let's say, this downside line right here. If we somehow break the downside line, then okay, I'm going to go a little bit higher, but I'm going to aim only for the 200-day EMA. This could be like the last little resort for the bulls, kind of, or for the bears for it to step in. And in a way, some of you might say, but hey, Darius, what about these other downside lines, which could be in a way correct? Yes, don't get me wrong. They could be also something for us to consider. But let's not rush into things. If this downside line breaks, okay, great. I'll consider a move higher. But at this point, I'm really being very careful. I'm not saying that you need to start selling at this point. No, what I'm trying to say is that you need to be cautious. You need to be like careful because again, if this holds, if this territory provides good resistance, then we might see a little bit of a retracement back down. I would say to be a little bit more on the safe side, if we do get a hold up somewhere around here, wait for maybe the price to drop back below the 50-day EMA, because this way it might open the door to the back to the psychological $60 mark. So again, we are, like I said, at an interesting spot, not only from the technical side, but politically as well, and in general economically. So there's a lot of things happening in the background. So just keep an eye on it. And like I said, let's not rush into things. Let's keep this short and simple, and hopefully we can squeeze something out of it. But like I said, for now, I'm cautiously bearish. I will get a little bit more bearish if we do see a drop back below the 50-day EMA, shown as the green line right here. But if we start clearing this downside line, the steeper one, which is taken from the highest point of this year, the current highest point of this year, if that gets cleared, then I'm targeting the 200-day EMA. And then we'll go from there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching and listening. Let me know in the comments if you agree or not. And yeah, as always, stay safe. Have your stop losses in place. Risk only what you can afford to lose. Don't overtrade and everything will be fine. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.